I wrote on offthehooksports.com, Joe Milton can be Anthony Richardson of this upcoming year. He is bigger. He's an inch bigger, 10 pounds. He's an inch taller, 10 pounds heavier. He can be the Anthony Richardson of next year if he has a good season. There's no question in my mind. And can Anthony Richardson go in the top 5 of the draft? That's a hefty projection, Caleb, but I'm not completely ruling it out that he would go in the top 15 of the draft. I know that sounds crazy, but if the accuracy issues are behind him, and I think Josh Heupel will do a great job of crafting this offense to take advantage of the intermediate and over the middle routes, and he learns to take some gas off the fastball every once in a while, I do believe that Joe Milton can be a highly valued quarterback in the NFL. He is going to wow at the combine. There's no question.
Oh, yes, definitely. The problem is going to be that, and this is a big deal, Anthony Richardson seems like he's going to start right out of the gate for Indianapolis. And I don't really believe I have high regard for his character and his work ethic. I just don't believe he's good enough. And so I think Anthony Richardson, you're going to see just an awful year for him this year. It's just going to be a brutal year. And I think the struggles of Anthony Richardson will make Joe Milton less valuable in next year's draft.
Okay, well, I see what you're saying, but he's going to have I think he will play better. I think he'll have a better college track record, don't you?
Oh, I think Joe Milton will definitely play better, but this is what scouts do. You're right. What they do is they look at a player profile and they think, oh, this is just like this player last year. And that's what they're going to see with Milton with more production. You're absolutely right. Because look, Joe Milton is probably going to complete more than 60% of his passes this year. I actually think that. But I still think people are going to be reminded of Anthony Richardson. A perfect example, Josh Dobbs was drafted in the 4th round in 2017, I think. I didn't think he was a top 4 round pick. I thought he was a 6 or 7 round quarterback. I don't think you take him in the top 4. He went, or in the top 4 rounds. He was in the top 4 rounds because of the success Dak Prescott had the year before in Dallas.
Yep, absolutely. So Mr. Jones has Milton winning the Heisman. Unfortunately, that can't happen because he won't have the preseason hype, and Heisman voters, not me, but a lot of Heisman voters get caught up in that. So I don't think you can win it. I don't think Hendon Hooker almost was a finalist, but I don't think he could have won it without the preseason hype. But if Milton is, let's say Hendon Hooker was an A+ last year. Okay, Caleb? If Milton is an A+, Milton, I'm sorry, is a B+, how good is Tennessee this year? Oh, we lost your microphone there. Let's bring your mic back. Yep. With Joe Milton, if he plays a B+ year, I think that Tennessee wins a minimum of 10 games. And looking at their schedule, 11 wouldn't surprise me. And I think they'll be in the running once again for the college football layoff.
Okay, sorry about that. I had a laptop issue. I agree. I think I see 11 wins this year with Milton if he's a B+ quarterback. I think Tennessee is going to be better in a lot of other places, funny enough. Except for defensive back, they might actually be worse. So just watch out for that.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine him playing anywhere nearly as well as Hendon Hooker, right? Or does this offense take another step with another year under their belt?
I think Joe Milton is going to be I'm just going to say this. What Mel Kiper is worried about with Hendon Hooker is going to apply to Joe Milton, which is that he's going to be deceptively good in this system. He was deceptively good in the Orange Bowl. When I say deceptively good, not as good as he looks. He looked really good in the Orange Bowl because of those underneath routes, and he was the MVP. He missed on Tennessee failed to score on a lot of drives in that Orange Bowl. People keep forgetting that. Joe Milton, by nature of Heupel's system and by what he can do, is going to put up a lot of points this year and look like a B+ quarterback, like you said. So people are going to be reminded of Hendon Hooker. But he's not, and that actually will help his draft stock next year. But he's not going to be Hendon Hooker. You're right. He's more like Anthony Richardson. So the question becomes, do NFL scouts see Hendon Hooker because Joe Milton continued the success of the offense, or do they see Anthony Richardson because of his measurables?
Yeah, and this too, what is this worth? What is Hendon Hooker being an absolutely great individual worth? Like an elite individual. That's not to say Joe Milton's not a good guy. I don't mean that at all. But Hendon Hooker's leadership had to be worth a half round in the NFL at least, I would think.
Yeah, it definitely did. I think that, but his leadership had to be worth half round, but his injury may have been knocked him back a half round. And so if Joe Milton doesn't get hurt and he's able to blow people away at the combine and he's got those leadership skills, look, gun to my head, Joe Milton gets drafted higher than Hendon Hooker next year. Joe Milton goes higher, but Hendon Hooker has a better NFL career.
Elias said, what's the baseline expectation for a truly accurate quarterback in this offense in terms of completion percentage? Well, that's tough because I don't think just looking at completion percentage because of the way they get people open is an accurate way to look at accuracy. Yeah, it's a weird way to say that term. Caleb, I just don't I don't think that number alone defines anything in this offense. You?
No, and the NFL, even the NFL total QBR barely looks at completion percentage anymore. I mean, effective completion percentage, effective yards per attempt, your completion percentage on yards, on how many yards you throw through the air. There's so many other things that matter now more than just completion percentage. And I mean, I will say a truly accurate quarterback, like if we're talking like accurate, I mean, you're expecting, I would say it's fair to expect 70, 75% because of how wide open receivers get down the field. I mean, even Hendon Hooker, look, he's got a beautiful deep ball. It's not the most accurate deep ball. He still misses like 2 or 3 times a game. I mean, there were about 2 or 3 times a game where Hendon Hooker missed on a clear shot for a touchdown last year. And we consider him to be deep ball accuracy.
Let me tell you, I think you'll be surprised who's number 2 in completion percentage, who was number 2 last year. It's Hendon Hooker, number 1. The next guy I'm going to tell you about, I think Joe Milton can be every bit as good as. If you've got a pet who suffers from digestive issues or suffers from arthritis issues or maybe even anxiety, you got to go to crafttreats.com. Go to crafttreats.com, use the promo code Off the Hook. That's Off the Hook. Get 20% off. 20% off with the promo code Off the Hook. I mean, Craft Treats with their chill pills has CBD that will help your pet. They also have non-CBD treats as well. They're phenomenal. Crafttreats.com. Use the promo code Off the Hook for 20% off. Who do you think was second last year in the SEC in completion percentage?
I'm going to venture a guess that it was KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson was 4th with 68%. For the record, Hendon Hooker led the SEC 69.6. I'll give you another guess.
Stetson Bennett?
Stetson Bennett was number 3.
Who was number
with 68.3%. Don't look it up. No Googling.
I'm not looking. Obviously, my hands are right here. I'm not Googling.
Yeah, hands up. No Googling. All right. Who you got?
Okay. I missed on KJ Jefferson.
You're like a football savant. I can't believe you don't have this.
Please don't tell me it's Jaden Daniels.
It's Jaden Daniels.
What? And y'all say I am the one high on LSU.
Yeah, 68.6%. Are you telling me that Joe Milton can't be as good or better than Jaden Daniels?
I mean, after watching what Tennessee did to LSU last year, I think he absolutely could. I mean, and look, I'm pretty high on LSU, as you guys know, but I think Joe Milton can definitely be better than Jaden Daniels. But I don't really believe in either for the draft. I mean, I'm going to say it out front. I think Joe Milton is going to improve his draft stock a lot this year, and I'm rooting for him because of his character. I don't think he has much of a shot as a long-term NFL quarterback, though. I don't think the skill set's ever going to be there.
Such a crapshoot. It depends where he goes. Does he get a Brian Daboll, who's a great quarterbacks coach? And I don't know, but ultimately, if he's anywhere close to his potential, he's going to be pretty good. And let's not forget they're drafted on potential a lot of the time. You have the potential for better vision at Campbell Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn. Campbell Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn has LASIK. They have the cataract surgery, and they also have just your regular vision center. That's where you need to go. Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Hahn. Just Google them, look it up. Look at me, not wearing contacts. I can see close, I can see far. It is phenomenal. No contacts, no glasses. Mr. Jones said Joe Milton is going to put it all together this year under Heupel in year 3, developing. That's the other thing. If you look at Hendon Hooker, year number 2, we questioned his accuracy. We didn't question it by the end of the year, Caleb.
No, but the thing I questioned less under Hendon Hooker was his pocket awareness developed so much from year 1 to year 2 under Heupel. We still saw the accuracy issues with Joe Milton last year under Heupel. Like, the concerns were still there.
But last year, they took their foot off the throttle in the final game against Vanderbilt, the final regular season Vanderbilt. That made me think that they didn't have faith in him as a passer. But I talked to Cooper and Jacob about how difficult the playing conditions were, and that didn't really translate on TV. So I think that's why they took their foot off the pedal. But again, I think this offense is going to look different. I think it's going to be I'm not going to say ball control, but a little bit more ball control because it plays to Joe Milton's strengths. Listen, I think he throws darts on slants. Everybody brought up on our YouTube page the Casey Clausen 4th down pass against Alabama. Those are the kind of balls that Joe Milton is going to be able to throw, I believe, with accuracy and power. Those little digs, those little slants over the middle, and I think he's going to be very good at that.
I mean, I agree with you on that, and that's going to be a big thing for Joe Milton is that he can throw those passes over the middle, and that he's not going to be as, even though he can, which is kind of ironic when you think about it, because he's got a bigger arm than Hendon, but we still trust Hendon more with the deep ball because he's accurate. For the record, guys, again, that Casey Clausen pass, we could have completed that. Joe Kynes had the worst defense in the history of mankind called for that play. And
a little strong. It's a little strong. I thought it was pretty impressive. That was a good ball.
It was the worst. He called a 3-3. He has this 3. Remember the 3-3-5 base defense Joe Kynes had back in the day at Alabama? And he did a standard 3-man rush with 2 linebackers in spy because I'm so worried Casey Clausen might run for a first down with 19 yards to go. I'm sorry. That was almost as bad as worst defensive call ever. Bob Shoop, 2015, 4th and 15 against Florida, and Will Grier completes the pass to Antonio Callaway. Bob Shoop's got 2 linebackers in spy. Hey, defensive coordinators, if it's 4th and 15, you don't need a spy.